Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Souls Outside. Later on, we're going to meet an amazing human, Karla Smith, who's a personal transformation coach. And, well, today's theme is all about the power of choice, which we'll chat about in a moment. And then we'll learn about one of her biggest choices that she made, and some other choices, and how we can continue to make choices every day, before wrapping up by learning one of her easiest and most impactful mindset tips for keeping our mind in a place of empowered choices. Welcome to Souls Outside, where we're all about finding the trail to stay true to your path. We do this by inviting featured guests on every show to share with you how you can follow in their soul prints, so you can choose which trail maps you need to continue on your journey. My name is Shannon Pohl, and I'm loving having navigated my own pivot from engineering to now being a master results coach and hypnotherapist, plus a forest guide who loves getting outside so we can learn from the nature, foster stewardship, and really amplify our successes by being outside in nature. I'm so excited to have you join today's episode. Welcome to Souls Outside. Hello, everyone. Awesome. So choices. That's what today's episode is all about, is the power of choices and learning that power. And there's so much around choice. So much. The one that really I thought about, when we're talking about this today and hearing Karla's story, which we'll hear later, is, are we making empowered for ourselves choices, or are we pretending we are, whatever, like abdicating responsibility for our choices? And to me, and I think also a little bit on the difference between choices and decisions, because we're making choices every day, and decisions to me are a type of choice. However, they're one where we're going to put some criteria in there, and decisions where we're weighing the pros and cons, we're making a list, we're checking it twice. We're putting that strategic, like, is this going to get me further faster? Will this choice get me further faster? Or do I need to slow down right now so this other choice is better? Like, that's where decisions, we can get some really cool strategic decision making going. And before we can get to decisions, we kind of have to make the choice that we're choosing to even decide. And so that's what I just want to chat a little bit about before we meet Karla, is choices. And are we making them from a responsible place for ourselves? Or, like I said, are we abdicating that responsibility? So I want to look at the word responsible. So when we think about responsibility, often we think that it's like those things we have to do. And when I think of responsibility, let's see if we can get, there we go. There we go. Cool. Response-able. So we're going to split the word into two components. So our response-able, response-ability, our ability to respond to a situation. And are we doing that from a empowered, I'm getting closer to my results kind of way? Or are we deciding that we're going to abdicate responsibility and blame it on everybody else? And it's everybody else's fault. And, I can't do anything. I couldn't do this because of that. I couldn't do that because of that. Or are we taking a more, looking at our ability to respond in a situation and taking stock and say, I was just cut off in traffic. So my ability to respond impacts my choices. Have I had a good sleep that day? Have I eaten well? Have I taken care of myself? Am I having good conversations with the people in the car with me? Am I headed somewhere I want to go or somewhere I maybe don't want to go? All of these things impact our ability to respond in a situation, which leads to the choices that we make. And as Karla will share with us later, one of her mindset tips, that's one of the ways to increase our ability to respond, to be able to make choices that are empowering and moving us forward in whatever way that means to us. And I think that's one of the other really important parts, is that after we've done everything we can to put ourselves in our best frame of mind, our best physicality, our best, emotional stability place, our best connection with whatever divine presence you associate with it, what fits in with your worldview, when we do all that best, the choices are still yours. You still have that power to say, yes, I'm going to do this, or no, I'm going to do that. And in the same situation, two people that are both at the top of their games could still make completely different choices, and that's totally okay, because there are choices to make. And that's, that to me is one of the things when we come to choices, they are our choices. They come within us. So we getting ourselves to our maximum, our best, through mindset tips like Karla's going to share with us later, through other practices, so many other things we can do. We have us at our best, gives us the best ability to be able to respond in 12 different ways in a situation. So we can have the max choice and choose the one that's going to be best for us, best for whatever situation we're in, best for any extenuating circumstances. So that's what I wanted to just kind of get our brains thinking about as we move into learning even more about learning the power of choice. Now that we've kind of explored choices a little bit, how they are part of our decision making, how when we're at our best, we have the best ability to make the best choices for us. So stick around. We're going to bring on Karla Smith and learn more about the power of choice. All right, welcome amazing humans. So today we have Karla Smith with us, who is a personal transformation coach and definitely an amazing human that I know, and I'm super excited to have her on the show today as we explore learning the power of choice. So we'll get into that in a moment. Right now, Karla, how would you introduce yourself a little bit to our listeners and watchers?
Oh, thanks, Shannon, for having me and for giving me that lovely introduction. As you mentioned, I'm a personal transformation coach, which has been such a beautiful journey for me over the last 10 years, getting here from first sort of figuring out how to personally transform myself and then move into being able to serve a wonderful community of people as their coach. I work helping people to really uncover what has been the patterns in their lives that have kind of led them into unconsciously not choosing for themselves. And as we uncover that, then we introduce new sort of tools and practices that help them to really take care of themselves and also explore the world in a new way, set some goals, and move forward in joy and fulfillment.
Oh, I love joy and fulfillment.
Me too.
So great when we get to the choice point where that's our choice.
For sure.
And speaking of choice, obviously you've made some big choices in your life as well. You've been coaching for 10 years. What was it that, a little bit, where were you before that? And what was it that really made that choice for yourself that, coaching and let's do this new life direction?
Yeah, thanks. So, my story really begins as a young person, a child. I grew up in a family of abuse and dysfunction, both, physically, emotionally. There was drug addiction and alcohol addiction. And so that of course, forms you into a kind of person, do you know? And so as a little person, I was really groomed into being a people pleaser and serving others so that life could be smooth in our house. And so that I didn't get myself into trouble or, get hurt. And as I grew up as this people pleaser, I really felt compelled to only serve others, to learn selflessness as if it was like my duty almost. So in my early 20s, actually before that, sort of late teens, early 20s, I ended up getting into a relationship that really mirrored my family life, but on a kind of lighter level, thankfully. And, but again, all the people in my life, I was just serving, and feeling as though I really didn't matter. And I even, I look back and I think I even sort of like, honored that I was last on my list. Do you know what I mean? Like I really it was like as if that was like the best thing that I could do is
like
be
that pride almost.
Pride, exactly. Yeah. Of being last on my list, as if that made me even better, a better person. But all of that became heavy. I have 4 beautiful kids who I loved taking care of, but I really got lost in their life, as many moms do, just serving what they needed, taking care of their needs and my husband's needs and my extended family and my friends and community. And so that became very heavy and burdensome. And I really was like waiting for someone else to come and take care of me, I think, a lot of the time. And that didn't ever happen. And so I got really resentful and disappointed in people. And that grew into depression. And I had a year of really like deep depression where I functioned on the outside, but internally I was like really not functioning, and that led to really not knowing whether I wanted to live or not live, which was obviously the pivotal point in deciding something different, right? And choosing something different. So in that moment of not choosing to not live, that's a terrible sentence, but so in choosing to live, exactly, in choosing to live, I ended up recognizing that life was this beautiful opportunity, and that I could choose who I loved, how much I wanted to help people, that I could help people for a living. And so I ended up going back to school for coaching, and here I am.
Excellent. And I know I said this to you before we started filming, and just I do congratulate you on choosing life, because it is a choice, and I think some people don't realize it sometimes, or how big that can be, and
for sure
how much of that is. I would think the ultimate pivot almost is I choose to remain and to do something different. So congratulations on that.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, from this pivot, you did make obviously a change. Instead of just living for the family, now you're stepping out as a coach and helping and serving women. Actually, women or men and women?
Men and women.
Men and women, right? Yeah, as soon as I said that, I was like, no, I think you work with everyone.
I do.
And so, like, a curiosity I have is, from serving family to now serving in this capacity, how has that changed for you? Since it is both forms of service.
For sure. So if I can just go right back to sort of the next day, because that's, I feel like, really the key is the next day, and then every other day after that. Perfect, is that I decided to choose first me. And that's really my big change, right? And so as I got help, first off, I went and got help, which I think is critical, is finding help, finding trusted people that take care of you and are your support. And so I was able to do all of that work. And then that led me into choosing practices that helped me to have self-care, look at my life from a different perspective, build optimism, cultivate all of these new practices. And so as I did that, choosing to go back to school was one of those. Learning what coaching was about, and then being able to help from a place where there was receiving, giving and receiving, right? So as a coach, obviously I receive also from my clients. And so there's like a really nice flow in that, which is totally different than serving from this selfless, people-pleasing place, which is what I was doing before. And it's helped my family so much, right? Because I have a new outlook, and so do they, right? So it's really lovely.
Beautiful. And I love the two pieces that you highlighted. There's one that you're choosing self first and then choosing to serve after that. So self first. And that by doing that, you do get into that flow of the giving and the receiving with others. And that, I guess the third point, that your whole family is benefited from that choice. So it's, as much as it's self first, there is also the everyone around you benefiting
For
as
sure.
well.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah.
And I know you mentioned some of the practices, so everyone, we will get one of her practices in a little bit. Karla's going to share with us one of her most an easy and very impactful mindset practice after our mini break. But before we get there, through all of this, how has, I mean, we shared how nature, and you have a property on a lake that you go to, and was that there throughout this journey for you? Was there a way that like being outside was part of that in any way?
Yeah, so the property is newer, and with my new husband, and I love all that's there in that nature. But nature has always been a huge part of my healing, for sure. I live in Toronto, so the High Park is close to us, close to me, and so I would walk it every single day. And then the other piece that was so impactful and started really my practice was getting up with the sunrise and just realizing that miracle every single morning, giving me that sense of this is a new day. So that was also a really beautiful, that's really where I started with nature, those two pieces. And then they've just become, nature is like interwoven into everything that I do, I feel like now, because you just realize that nature is like this perfect example of living in peace, in harmony, in joy every single day.
Waking up with sunrise is amazing. That's so beautiful that that's part of your practice.
Yeah,
I know
for sure.
some of my best days are when I'm up before the sun and you can just see the glow. Okay, on sunny days, not cloudy, rainy days. Sunny days when you can see the glow starting, and it's like, that burst of like, new day. And I'm here for the birth of that new day.
Exactly. And I've even come to like love even those cloudy days, because you just see the change in light. Like even if it's not the beauty, like, I mean, some of the colors that you get to see, it's every day is a different canvas, really, which is also such a beauty to witness. But I just, even the days that are gray and the light is changing, remind me that not everything is like perfect and sunny, and but that can come right again. So yeah, I love even those days. I don't have curtains in any of my bedrooms, so that I just wake up with it as it happens.
Living in this, that's impressive, living in the city.
Yeah, we have a nice good backyard, so it's good. But yeah, for sure.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome, because I would love to do that, and my sleep would, where we live right now, my sleep would take a hit by having too much ambient light during the day. We have blackout curtains.
Right.
But I was thinking a sun lamp that like you can time it, I think, to like mimic it.
Yeah, beautiful.
Anyways, we veer off topic.
Yeah, exactly.
But with all the beautiful things you're saying with the sunrise, I just wanted to share with people something else that you said about the property you have on a lake, that one of the ways you honor your heart's desire to be outside is on that property, because being at the water's edge or walking the beach or watching a storm come in off the lake reminds me that life is ever-changing and optimistic. The lake ebbs and flows for an extended period, and then there can be a raging storm, but it returns to the ebb and flow. Storm is only temporary. which are just so beautiful words when I read it, and fits
Thank you.
the sunrise with whether it's light or, you know, a sunny day or a cloudy day, or if you're at the water and able to watch the magic of nature. There's really some things, and we can choose. I think that comes full circle back to, you know, how you choose. Like, are you seeing it as, oh, it's a great grossy day and like, it's gonna be sucky, or you're like, ooh, there's still light back there.
Exactly.
I'm choosing to see that.
That's exactly.
Awesome. So I think with that, we'll wrap up this section. So we can take a quick little break, and then we'll be back to hear one of your top mindset tips that's easy, so key to be easy, with huge reward from it. So thank you for this, and everyone stay tuned. All right, welcome back, everyone. So we still have with us today Karla Smith, who is a personal transformation coach. And if you missed the earlier section for some crazy reason, just go back and watch to that now, because it was awesome. And it'll give you much more background as we move into a mindset tip now, because as we're talking about the power of choice today, how important mindset is for that. And Karla's going to give us an easy and super powerful thing to do for our mindset. So Karla, I'll pass it over to you.
Thanks. And so, as I was mentioning around choice, really optimism has been the biggest choice that I've made in my life that's really turned things around. And optimism for me really is the idea that permanently and generally our life is good, and temporarily and specifically things are challenging, versus the opposite, which would be pessimism, that temporarily and specifically things are good, and permanently and generally things are really challenging. And so shifting that mindset was a huge piece of my sort of awakening and shift in my life and my own personal transformation. And that cultivating optimism really came from sort of adding in what I call my morning practice, which is many different practices that I start my day with, as well as other things that go on throughout the day. And so, as Shannon said, the easiest and most simple tool that I implemented really at the beginning was a gratitude practice. And, you know, gratitude is one of those amazing practices that allows you to not feel negative while you're feeling grateful. Like, it's physiologically not possible to be both grateful and feeling down at the same time. So it's a wonderful way to like shift your energy, or just change if you're in the midst of like conflict, to change your perspective. And you know, Oprah always says, which I love this quote, when the more you're grateful for, the more there is to be grateful for. So it's really about noticing, right? And the more you notice the things in your life that you can be grateful for, the easier it is to see things that you can be grateful for. And so the simplest practice, and the one that I use, is a gratitude journal. And so at the beginning, you know, for myself is how I started, and I encourage all of my clients to start with this practice, is to simply every day to start with a week, write down 3 gratitude statements. That's simply say, I am grateful for, and then the thing that you're grateful for. And that gratitude doesn't have to be like super intense, you know, or long. It can be simply what you see in front of you, or something that happened that day, or a person, or your manicure, or anything, right? Just to start noticing that you are grateful instead of taking those things for granted. So that's really, that's where, you know, gratitude is simple because it's easy to do, and then really, really transformative. So that's my tip.
Awesome. Thank you. And I like how you highlight, like, start with 3 things.
Yeah.
Just start there.
For sure.
And the writing of, I am grateful for X. I am grateful for Y. Like, putting the I am grateful for part in, because that's, I guess, going to even trigger your mind to be like, oh, what am I grateful for? Like, as I'm thinking about this. And I know I've done gratitude practices myself totally honest, it means you a hard one to stick with sometimes.
Yeah.
It comes and it goes.
Mm-hmm.
However, I've never written I am grateful for before each item.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that.
Yeah, I think it's really great in rewiring, right? We're
Yeah.
rewiring how we look at the world. And so if you're writing every single day, I'm grateful for, you're starting to have that as one of the things that you connect with all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like this. And okay, restarting today. Which actually I did restart today. However, I didn't put the grateful for part in.
Yeah, the next day.
I am grateful for each item, for each item.
Yeah. And then when that feels really comfortable, you can add more in or, expand it in some way, for sure.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I like this. It's one of my favorite things, little things, because this is a little thing. I think that's the important thing. It's not a huge, big, everyday do this 6-hour thing. No, It's take 3 minutes, 5 minutes.
Not even. Yeah. Not
write
at the
a few
beginning.
Sentences.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's beautiful. So, so exciting.
Good.
Looking forward to chatting sharing with Karla how my new gratitude practice goes, and everyone else hearing how yours go. Mm-hmm. We can have a little gratitude share.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
And well, now that you have this amazing tip, to have more tips and even to create your own personal practice plan, which I'm thinking would be very valuable for people. There's a link in the show notes that you can book a complimentary 30 minutes with Karla. 30 complimentary minutes with this amazing human. I think you should all do it. That's my opinion. I was expecting that session we're going to talk a little bit more about, like, beyond gratitude, like other things we can do in our practice, since it's personal practice plan.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so just figuring out what it is that feels right for you as your first steps, right? Baby steps are so critical, and also what is right for you, so figuring that out and moving forward with next steps for you to start your own daily practice.
Excellent. I love that. Baby steps, and your baby steps, not someone else's baby steps, the ones that work for you. Amazing. Well, Karla, I've had a super amount of fun. Does that even make sense?
It did to me.
I've had a lot of fun chatting with you today. Love the mindset tip and how it comes from that optimism frame. Having that be what you filter your day through. And yeah, everyone, personal practice plan, create your own with Karla. It's going to be wonderful and amazing. Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us today on Souls Outside, and we hope you enjoyed walking in our featured guest soul prints as much as we did. As always, we like to wrap up each episode with our extreme gratitude and appreciation for our founding sponsors, who quite literally made it possible for Souls Outside to become a reality. First off, special thanks goes to Etche Savas and her company Palindrome Design for the amazing cover art, and noting that their sponsorship comes in support of their passion project, Self-Build Sustainable. We'd also like to thank Chuck Henry for his amazing music, original music, that is featured throughout the episode. And of course, Elise Cannon, our amazing editor, who quite literally made it possible for any of these episodes to see the light of day. They probably would still be on a hard drive on my computer without her expertise, skill, and passion for editing. So we thank them so much. And until next time, we hope you enjoy your journey and continue following in the soul prints of those who have gone before. Hey, one last thing before you go. If you wish you could talk about this episode with myself, our featured guest, or other like-minded individuals like yourself, join us on Facebook or LinkedIn in our Souls Outside Facebook and LinkedIn groups. On Facebook, we do watch parties. On both, we have awesome conversations about what we talked about and are able to answer your questions on how you can go even further on your soul print journey. See you there.